A vigil tonight at the University of Idaho marks 2 years since the murders of 4 students.
And WSU issues a safety alert following a reported sexual assault in Moscow.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Hello and welcome to Murrow News 8. I'm Brooke Bovenkamp.
And I'm Sam Fulton.
There will be a gathering today in Moscow to remember the 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Xana Kernodle, who were murdered 2 years ago today in an off-campus home on King Road. A vigil is set to take place tonight at 6 p.m. at the Vandal Healing Garden on the University of Idaho campus to honor the students' legacies. And our reporter Cassidy is at the memorial site with more.
Today marks 2 years since the brutal murders of Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Now, the house was demolished in December of 2023, but this memorial was dedicated in its place, where people can lay memorabilia, notes, and light candles for each one of them. Now, this memorial is a beautiful representation of a community still healing.
WSU sent out an alert yesterday to students' emails notifying them of a reported sexual assault incident in Moscow. We will send it to Emory for more information.
This last Monday, a sexual assault reportedly took place here at the Gromley Park area in Moscow. Officials say that the victim, a University of Idaho student, was walking back to their dorm when a car approached. The victim says that a male got out of the car and forced them into it before sexually assaulting them. Afterwards, the victim was freed from the car and the suspect fled the scene. As of now, there is no description of the make or model of the vehicle or any description of the suspect. In a Moscow Police Department news conference, there were rumors discussed of a possible serial rapist after a similar case had been reported in WSU last month. This is what they had to say. At this time, the MPD still does not have any information which would indicate that there is a suspect who is assaulting multiple people in the area. The department is still investigating the report and is looking for any possible information to come forward. The police are also looking for anyone who happened to be at the Gromley Park area around 6 p.m. on Monday. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Emory. The Whitman County Auditor's Office ran another 1,000 ballots on Tuesday night from last week's vote by mail election. There are still thousands of ballots left to be counted, and the Auditor's Office will run another batch of ballots on Friday night.
Traffic is expected to return to downtown Pullman tomorrow. At least one lane of traffic is to be back open on Main by 6 a.m. Some Main Street parallel parking will also be available as well. The entire project is expected to be complete later this month.
Work on the new section of U.S. Highway 95 south of Moscow is running behind schedule. The Idaho Transportation Department announced that the highway will not be completely finished until next fall due to paving work. A portion of the new highway was said to be open to traffic this fall, with full completion expected in spring of 2025. But officials say most of the new highway will be open to traffic between Reisenauer Hill and Moscow in the early summer next year.
Pullman City Council will be discussing a more balanced resolution supporting a Middle East ceasefire. The issue first came up last spring when the Palouse Democratic Socialists of America demanded council pass their resolution. The initial resolution called for Israel to stop defending itself following the October 7th Hamas attack from Gaza.
Nez Perce County has offered up $500,000 to support nonstop flights from Denver to Lewiston, but only if the city of Lewiston can match the money. United Airlines has requested $4.9 million to keep the route financially sustainable. United Airlines has extended their deadline to December 15th for the community to come up with the funds.
Washington's online court record system is still down following a cyber attack. Someone hacked into the system earlier this month, forcing the administrative office of the courts to take the system offline. Officials report that the network will be down throughout the week.
Two couch fires were set over the weekend on College Hill following the Cougars' victory over Utah State. We'll tell you the total couches burned this fall next.
There were two couch fires on Pullman's College Hill over the weekend celebrating the Cougar victory over Utah State at Martin Stadium. The first couch was torched on D Street at Colorado, and the other couch was burned on D Street later on Sunday morning. There have been 9 victory couches this fall. The judge who was set to oversee the Moscow murder trial of Brian Koberger before it was moved to Boise announced plans to retire. Judge John Judge of Idaho's 2nd Judicial District in Latah County sent a signed letter last month notifying the state of his intent just 1 month after approving the trial's venue change.
The first annual fundraiser dinner gala for a new local organization working to raise awareness about drug abuse is happening this weekend. Lucy's Legacy is a nonprofit dedicated to honoring the life of Lucinda Ray Lautenschlager, and the event is Friday night at 5:30 p.m. at the Palouse Empire Fairgrounds near Colfax.
Pullman's annual leaf collection starts this upcoming Tuesday. If residents want their leaves to be picked up, all they need to do is rake their leaves into the street. As a reminder, cars need to be parked off the street during collection times.
And with all those leaves on the ground, it's definitely clear that fall is coming to an end, and we can expect that winter weather pretty soon. Jose, what's it looking like this weekend?
Thanks, Brooke. Well, today we are expecting some rain, or have had some. We're going to be at a high of 44 and a low of 40. Tomorrow is going to be just around the same. We're still going to have some rain with a high of 49 and a low of 32. And moving on to the state map, it is really going to be rain all over the place as we see Olympia with 55 and 46. Seattle, right around the same. Yakima with the low 50s and low 30s. Tri-Cities, mid 50s. And moving on to the state, to the 5-day, starting Friday, we're going to get snow. And that's going to stay here all the way till Sunday, and we're going to still expect some on Monday. So back to you guys at the desk.
WSU Sports went undefeated at home last week, and quarterback John Mateer is now a semifinalist for the Davey O'Brien Award. Brooke will have more Cougar success on the way next.
A huge home week of Cougar sports has finally come to an end. The Cougar Crawl was very successful with every game this week taking the win. WSU sports went 11-0 with the following sports being played. Football, women's and men's basketball, soccer, volleyball, and swimming all played. As part of last week's Cougar Crawl was the football game against Utah State. John Mateer threw 4 touchdown passes and ran for another score. Wayshawn Parker rushed for a career-best 149 yards on 11 carries, and number 20 Washington State rolled to a 49-28 victory over Utah State on Saturday night. WSU's quarterback John Mateer was one of 16 quarterbacks named a semifinalist for the Davy O'Brien Award. The Davy O'Brien Foundation announced yesterday, and the Davy O'Brien National Quarterback Award is presented annually to the nation's best college quarterback and is the oldest and most prestigious national quarterback award. As basketball season has officially kicked off, the Cougars men's team is officially 3-0. The men's team defeated Idaho 90-67 Friday night at Beasley Coliseum. This win was the 6th consecutive battle of the Palouse in the 279th all-time meeting between the schools. Washington State women's basketball finished its opening week with a 71-60 win over Idaho Sunday afternoon. The Cougars, who are 2-1, had 4 in double-digit scoring, while the team forced 22 turnovers and outscored the Vandals 17-5 in points off turnovers. Washington State swimmers Emily Lundgren and Darcy Revitt each picked up Mountain West Conference Swimmer of the Week honors, the conference office announced on Tuesday. Lundgren was named the MWC Swimmer of the Week, while Revitt was named the Freshman of the Week for the second time this season. Lundgren and Revitt helped the Cougars to a win over Seattle U last Friday as WSU improved to 5-0 for the first time since 2010-2011. Washington State volleyball, who is 14-8, is back on the road this week to play at Gonzaga on Wednesday, November 13th at 6 p.m. They head over to Portland on Saturday, November 16th at 1 p.m. Both matches will be broadcasted live on ESPN+. Klay Thompson returned to the Bay Area last night for the first time since leaving the Golden State Warriors. Thompson and the Mavericks first arrived at the Chase Center in San Francisco yesterday afternoon, and he quickly received a massive reception from fans both in the arena and from those waiting outside as he arrived.
Stay tuned to see what the National Day is and what you can do to make a difference.
Feels like no matter where you look, the state of the world's getting worse. Oceans full of plastic, an endless amount of waste, an impossible task ahead of fixing our beloved planet. But change can't happen if you do nothing. So here's where you should start. Reduce. Why? Because Americans produce more than 200 million tons of waste every year, and you don't want to add to that. Reuse. Why? Because reusing and repurposing cuts back on unnecessary waste, and it gives things a chance at new life. Recycle. Why? Because recycling creates jobs. It helps our community and it helps our planet. And after doing all this, what will we be left with? We'll be left with a planet that will slowly start to heal. We'll be left with more money in our pockets. We'll be left with more opportunity for work. And most importantly, we're left with hope for the future. So reduce, reuse, recycle.
Spence Hardware and Supply is hosting a coat and boot drive. They're asking for donations of gently used and washed coats, boots, gloves, and hats. All donations should be dropped off at Spence Hardware by November 30th. All items will benefit Family Promise of the Palouse.
World Kindness Day 2024 is a global observance dedicated to promoting and celebrating acts of kindness. It encourages people to perform intentional acts of kindness and foster a culture of compassion and generosity. Very cool. I don't think many people know about that. Thanks so much for tuning in and have a great night.